West Ham United 0, Liverpool 2. Well, it was obvious, wasn't it, that if Liverpool were going to try and get their season back on track, it would be at West Ham. We gifted them that game today. Didn't have a shot on target. We were quite poor. Well, we actually played well in spells. I think, for 20-30 minutes in the first half and for spells in the second half, we were in the game. Didn't look like Liverpool had much about them. And then poor first goal to give away. And that was it. We're on the back foot. The referee was pretty awful. And I think Lucas Paqueta demonstrated how unhappy he was with the referee. But you do not keep having a go at the ref, especially after he's just given you a yellow card, and think that you're going to get away with it. So Paqueta let us down, I think, today, especially on a day when we woke up to the news that Billy Bonds had passed away. Rest in peace to Billy Bonds. And maybe Lucas should have just thought about that before letting his team down, letting the whole side down and getting himself sent off. That's 7 yellow cards now for Paqueta. He's already served 1 match ban. He's now going to serve another match ban for 2 yellow cards. And then he's only got to get 3 more to serve yet another 1 match ban, which is a shame in some ways, but some people are suggesting that it's not necessarily a shame in others. Look, starting lineup, I was actually really pleased with the players that we had available to us, that even Nuno realised that Max Kilman is a liability, and he dropped him. He dropped Kilman from the starting lineup. Dinos came back, and Dinos does what Dinos does. He's, I think he was half decent, a lot better than Max Kilman is in defence, to be quite honest with you. Somerville out. We now don't know how long he's out for. There's a suggestion he could be out for up to 6 weeks, which is a real shame. He can't seem to keep himself fit, and that's going to be a massive loss. But in terms of how the team was set up, I guess this was probably the best 11 that we could get out there. But unfortunately, with all the endeavour, all our efforts led to nothing. We had not 1 shot on target throughout the whole game, and we had that chance near the end when Bowen just curled it wide. It probably wasn't that far away. But this is all going to be, of course, about how Liverpool are now back on track. Nothing to do with, and I'm sure the pundits will not say anything about how poorly West Ham played, and we weren't good today. Of all the games, I mean, we gifted it to them. We just can't seem to string passes together. We get the ball, we were giving it away again pretty cheaply, pretty easily. Our crosses were not very good. We had no end product. Callum Wilson, actually felt quite sorry for him, because Callum Wilson had no service whatsoever up front today. So I can't blame him for his lack of effort. I mean, he got to try to get himself about. But the ref was really, really poor. He did gift Liverpool all the decisions, and I get the frustration for Paqueta. I don't think we had a yellow card until Magassa's attempt to get the ball, and I don't even think even that was a yellow. So the ref had a poor game, but Lucas, you can't. There's some people are saying that should be the last game Paqueta plays for West Ham, but we know it won't be. And it's a shame, because we were in it. If we'd have walked away with a draw today, I don't think anyone would have been disappointed. But we gifted Liverpool the opportunity to get themselves back on track. It was, it's a poor Liverpool side. It's a poor Liverpool side, yet they've come away with a 2-goal win. Totally undeserved, but we shot ourselves in the foot, unfortunately. It's a shame, because now, I think ironically, when Paqueta got sent off, we started to move the ball quicker. There's a lot of good about Lucas Paqueta, but there's a lot of bad about him. The good is when the passes come off, trying to thread the ball through the eye of a needle. When those sorts of passes come off, then everyone, pats him on the back and says how wonderful a footballer he is. But when he got it, he pondered, and he slowed the game down. Of all players, he slowed the game down, and it didn't help us. It didn't help our movement. It didn't help our rhythm. And it doesn't also help that we've got other players who are not on it at the moment. Jared Bowen, I'm sorry to say, another game where he's been a little bit found wanting as well, with the greatest of respect. Got a lot of respect for Bowen, but the one thing with the Paqueta sending off is when you saw Van Dijk and Alisson from Liverpool going over to Paqueta to try and pull him away from the referee, where on earth was Jared Bowen? You show your leadership at that point, and you literally pull Paqueta by the scruff of the neck and say, enough, and get away and just focus on the game. And Bowen didn't do that, and you know what? I think it's a massive burden for Jared Bowen to continue being a captain of West Ham. I think it's putting him off his game. I think it's distracting him. I don't think he quite knows what to do with the captaincy. He's not a natural leader of players, and I think he'd be much better off if the captaincy was taken off him and given to another player, and just let Jared just focus on his football. Just let him focus on his football and without worrying about being a captain. And we expected Bowen to get over to Paqueta, pull him away, tell him to calm down, but he didn't do it. He didn't do it, and it was telling, and it was a shame, because Paqueta now, like I said, serving another ban. Trying to think of players that I think were good in the game. I think Areola yet again pulled off a pinpoint save against Isaac in the first half, and I think he kept us in the first half. He pulled off a couple of decent saves, but I guess the man for me that continues to improve on a regular basis is Matheus Fernandes. Matheus Fernandes puts so much effort into the game. He's all over the pitch, really trying to make things happen. And I felt sorry for him, because him and Freddie Potts, him and Potts in the middle. But you've got to take your hat off to Magassa as well. I like Magassa. I've been saying it before. I think Magassa's a half-decent player. And I think he was unlucky to lose his place in the lineup in the first place. But I was glad that he was back in the lineup today. And I think Magassa, Potts and Fernandes in the middle of the park, it still needs something more. We need a striker up front who's going to be as dynamic as those three, to come off the back of some of the balls that are laid off, etc. I mean, imagine what sort of West Ham team we would have if we had a player, a striker, a real focal point who would just add to that element. It's not taking anything away from Wilson. Like I said, I think Wilson, just didn't get the service today, but a more agile striker with the likes of Potts, Fernandes, Magassa in midfield would be so much better. But we lost today. We shouldn't have lost today. It's a game that, we should have at the very least gotten something out of it. If we'd have gotten a draw, I don't think anyone would have denied us that, but it wasn't to be. So we go into the next game now away to Man United, and then we got Brighton away as well. And people are starting to ask the questions again. Where are we going to get our next points? Ironically, without Paqueta in the lineup on Thursday against Man United, I think we're going to do better. And maybe Nuno was ruthless, dropping Kilman, and rightly so. And maybe Nuno should take a leaf out of Arne Slot's book and drop a big name. And so when Paqueta is available again for the Brighton game, maybe he should start on the bench and not start in the lineup, just like Arne Slot did with Salah today. Salah was dropped from the starting lineup, and maybe Nuno should do the same with Paqueta when he's back. Disappointing game today. Just disappointing because we didn't get in their faces. This was a golden opportunity to try and get something out of it, to try and get at them. And there was endeavour, but there was no end product. And that was our problem. We just do not have an end product, not one shot on target throughout the whole game. Alisson had the easiest game back that he could ever wish for. But we move on. We move on to Thursday. The send-off for Billy Bonds was superb. At the end of this video, you're going to see footage of that. I'll stick the recording I made of that. You know, it was heartwarming. It was heartfelt. You know, and that should have given the players some kind of boost to want to go out there and get something out of this game today. But unfortunately, it wasn't the spark that we were hoping for. West Ham 0, Liverpool 2. The pundits will say how great Liverpool were, but in reality, Liverpool only won this game because of how poor West Ham United were. No end product, which is, and we need desperately, when the January transfer window opens, we badly need to go and get ourselves a striker.